Have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself a brutally honest question? What exactly are you doing with your life right now? If today was the last day of your life, would you be proud of what you're building? Or would you quietly admit that you're just surviving, not living? Steve Jobs asked himself this question every single morning. He said, "If too many days in a row I answer no, I know I need to change something." Most people never even ask this question once in their lives, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. Jobs didn't become Steve Jobs because he was the smartest or the richest. He became Steve Jobs because he decided that his life was too valuable to be wasted on things that didn't matter. And whether you realize it or not, your life is just as valuable. The problem is, no one reminded you of it. So today, consider this your reminder. When Jobs was a teenager, he didn't have a clear life plan. No roadmap, but he did have one thing: an obsession to follow his curiosity. He once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Meaning whatever you feel deeply pulled toward, even if it looks random, might be the most important decision of your life later. He took a calligraphy class when he had no money, no direction, and no reason to believe it would matter. Years later, that one class became the reason Apple computers had beautiful typography. That single choice changed the entire digital world forever. What would happen if you followed your curiosity with that level of boldness? What would change if you stopped ignoring the things that pull you and started chasing them? Most people ignore their curiosity because they're scared. Scared of failing, scared of judgment, scared of disappointing others. But Steve Jobs understood something most people never realize. You will never outrun fear. You can only choose which fear controls your life: the fear of failing, or the fear of living a life that never meant anything. Jobs chose the second one. He refused to live a small life. That choice made him dangerous in the best way possible, because a person who is no longer controlled by fear becomes unstoppable. But here's something most people never talk about. Steve Jobs failed more times than he succeeded. He was fired from the very company he created. Imagine that, building something from scratch, dedicating your soul to it, and then being told you're not good enough to stay. Most people would break. Most people would quit. Most people would say, "Maybe this isn't for me." But Jobs understood the secret. Failure doesn't mean it's over. Failure means you're being redirected. When he was kicked out of Apple, he started from zero again. He created Next. He bought Pixar when it was nothing. He reinvented animation. He reinvented storytelling. He reinvented himself. And when Apple eventually came crawling back to him, that failure became the reason he returned stronger, sharper, more dangerous than ever. You may not realize it, but right now, something in your life feels like a failure too. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your financial situation. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's your self-discipline. Whatever it is, it's not the end. It's a redirection. A turning point. A test to see if you're willing to fight for what you really want. Jobs didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait for the perfect time. He created the time. He created the opportunity. He created the future he wanted to live in. And the truth is, you can too. But first, you need to stop living your life on autopilot. Think about this, Jobs said. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. But how many people spend years doing things they don't love, for people they don't respect, in places they don't belong? You have one life, one shot, one chance to build something meaningful. And every day you spend waiting is a day you never get back. Jobs lived with a sense of urgency, not panic. Urgency. A quiet, powerful pressure to not waste time. Because he knew time wasn't guaranteed. When he was diagnosed with cancer, his entire perspective sharpened even more. He said, remembering that he would die soon helped him make the right decisions, because everything unimportant suddenly became irrelevant. Imagine making decisions with that level of clarity. Imagine cutting out the distractions. Imagine focusing only on what matters. Your life would transform faster than you can imagine. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. You don't need a perfect plan. You need courage. Courage to start. Courage to continue. Courage to believe that your future can be bigger than your past. Jobs wasn't gifted with certainty. He built it through action. Every small decision, every tiny risk, every uncomfortable step became a brick in the foundation of his legacy. And that's the part most people forget. Greatness is not built in a moment. It's built in the quiet, unseen, uncelebrated hours when no one is watching. So ask yourself, what are you building when no one is watching? Are you fighting for your future, or are you letting it slip away? Are you choosing growth or choosing comfort? Are you moving forward or staying exactly where you always been? Because here's the truth. You're one decision away from a completely different life. One risk away and one step away. One moment of courage away. Steve Jobs didn't change the world because he was lucky. He changed the world because he decided to. And somewhere inside you, that same power exists too. The question is, will you use it?